Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signore, and we are live. Some news breaking this morning as we see WFLA is out there because finally some laundries are starting to help. Wow, what a theory, guys. The laundries are starting to help. Now, why are they starting to help now? I was actually on the phone texting with Detective Hubbard. He gave me lots of insight, and we are on the same page on this, and I'm going to share you those thoughts. I may be able to get him to call in a little bit later in the show. He's in some meetings now, but he's been paying attention and getting more invested because of our coverage, and you guys showing him so much support. I'd be very curious. I'm trying to get some more of his thoughts today because yesterday, as we reported on this, it does really feel like there's some sort of covering up here is what I feel like is happening. I personally feel like the parents are attempting to save face here. That's what I think, and you're going to hear me probably repeat it a bunch today. But I really think that the parents realize they've done wrong, and I think their lawyer is basically advising them, well, if you don't start helping now, you're going to be in trouble later. I firmly believe that's what's happening right now. And John, I've talked to John, Detective Hubbard. He thinks this is a goose chase. Now, I hope it's not. He also says there'd be more people in the area if this was, in fact, some sort of search for Brian himself. But right now, I'm going to update you to where we are. But the most breaking news is, yes, they are at the Carlton Reserve again with Chris Laundrie, who is Brian Laundrie's father, is there in the search site. So we're going to break down
back here with you live, everybody on WFLA now. Yeah, you know, I
as we go through why, how do we get here? And I know we're probably not going to have as many coverage. I started a little later. Everyone's just watching on WFLA elsewhere. So I appreciate you just choosing here to listen to my commentary and news updates. It means a lot to me. So thanks for being here, everybody. I see so many amazing people in the chat. Always good to see you. Thank you for choosing Popcorn Planet on your mornings. But I want to break down an update of where we stand on things and why we got to this point. Because the reality is this all started last night where Brian Enton was sharing Steve Bertolino's comments saying Chris Laundrie was asked to help assist the law enforcement in their search for Brian at the preserve today. Since the preserve had been closed to the public, Chris had not been able to look for Brian in the only place Chris and Roberta believe Brian may be. Fortunately, Northport police had to postpone Chris's involvement, but Chris and Roberta are hopeful there will be another opportunity to assist. Now, again, this is why you come here, because I'm going to give you the real deal, and this is because we've spoken to detectives and everything else. Guys, look at this closely. Look at this closely. I'm going to go back to the footage in a second, but look at this closely because Chris was asked to assist, but, it's been closed. And, they weren't able to look at the one place, the only place that he may believe Brian is. Guys, what? They've gone over this area with thermal imaging technology. They've had the drones there. We've had the detective confirm this. They would know what's going on here. It's absurd to me that we wouldn't have the technology to get the thermal imaging to know where Brian is in this instance. So why would the FBI do this? Well, let's talk more. Fortunately, Northport police had to postpone the involvement. Guys, you really think if even Northport or the FBI had a credible lead, they would have postponed it? No. Huge red flags to me. Huge red flags to me. And all of this from last night is very telling. This is a public PR play for the lawyer to help make it look like the parents are finally assisting. Now, a little too late for me personally. I don't know about you guys. A little too late for me. So this screams defense. This screams defense of the Laundries finally trying to have some public-facing potential to help where they're out there doing this work. They're doing this because they know there's going to be a trial. They know they're going to eventually catch Brian, and they're going to be under the gun. And I think their lawyer has been warning them, and I think they're watching coverage like ours, and they know that the pressure is on, right? They know it. So when the pressure is on, what do you go do? Well, you go start making some actions and some things to make it seem like, guys, Petitos, we tried to find him. Oh, we were just following our lawyer and our FBI's advice. They told us not to say anything to any of you guys. We were crushed at home. We were trying. I call BS. BS. Not believing it. Now I do have to say, I've added a couple graphics. This is a pure speculation warning. These aren't facts. This is my opinion. Okay, and I spelled opinion wrong. I'll adjust that later. So don't make fun of me. I did it quickly. Pure speculation on my part that I think this isn't. I don't think. I don't think this is what's happening here. I think I want you to guys go through again the red flags. I love that. We need to make a red flag emoji too. Someone remind me. But I'm not buying it. There's something smells here in Carlton Reserve. So all right, so I'm rewinding just so you have a full update because we're there and I'm going to get to this because yes, again the breaking news is Chris Laundrie, his father, is now at the reserve and there's chopper footage. We're going to try and give you that as it's breaking. Now this was the statement from last night. Huge red flags to me. Obviously, a lot of people. Chris Laundrie asked to assist. Attorney says it. Because it looks good, guys. Now, Christopher Landry was asked by the police to assist in the search. Who knows if that's true? We look more closely at the fixed wing drone spot at the reserve. What sort of technology is helping the manhunt? They talk about that. This is how Northport police responded to us. The FBI is the lead. Northport police would not be making these decisions and actions. The FBI would have to answer if that was true. We've reached out to the FBI. They will not comment. So we don't know who's asked who. Now, was he asked? The lawyer's saying this. That could be a complete, they called us at one point and we gave them some information. They said, if you know, sure, come help us. Does that mean the FBI called them and was like, guys, we need your help for the hot lead? No, this is the lawyer's spin. This is spin by a lawyer, okay? So so just keep that on mind as we go and cover today because I want you guys to have what I believe is thank you for all the red flags. Don't spam. They do punish you if you spam. That's all these red flags to me. Like I don't buy these intentions for a minute. Okay, I don't buy them for a minute. So anyway, fast forward. Then we have another statement here. Here it is. So Chris Laundrie, here he is, leaving the house.
Laundrie.
Here it is.
Mr. Laundrie, you have one good thing to say about your son?
Do you have one good thing to say about your son?
Mr. Laundrie, you got a search for him today.
He's not messing around. He is not messing around. He's not saying a word. He's not going Cassie. He's barely looking. He's like, move out of my way. I'm leaving. Can't wait for the Oprah interview with the Laundrie. He looks emotional too, wouldn't you? You lost your daughter-in-law. You lost him. And someone's off to follow him. There they go. I don't know who that is, but no cops following unless a cop drives is it a Kia? I don't know if a cop's driving the Kia, but he left on his own, and a lot of reporters then dipped out to follow him. All right, but that's what happened, okay? So that was the latest. Brian's dad left the house with a plastic bag of belongings, okay? And then we have another statement. Then he arrived at the reserve. So I have that footage here too. Here's some footage of him arriving at the reserve. There he is in the car. That's him. You can verify it. So the dad is there. That's him. That's him.
That was him.
So he's been driven in into the reserve to where they're at. It looks like FBI. Actually, that's police. Okay, good. It said there and there. I was going to say FBI, but it looks like it's police.
That was him.
That was him. That was him indeed. All right, so there he is driving in. And the Laundrie's lawyer again said this, that they were looking to have the FBI as the lead. However, Attorney Stevens said that Chris was asked to help law enforcement, and Northport had to postpone his involvement. However, according to Northport, Officer Jailer, it wouldn't be their department making that call. The FBI is the lead. The Northport police would not be making these decisions. In an email, the FBI would have to answer if that was true. So, again, the Laundrie's lawyer, again, caught in a lie because he's saying the Northport police is what caused the delay. So right there, I'm glad I read the article to correct the dots because, again, the lawyer caught lying. Again, they got wrong dates. Everything's just all PR play by a terrible lawyer, in my opinion. And so this lawyer is now trying to save face. I'm sure the parents are like, we look terrible out there. Help us. And the lawyer's got to be PR too. And that's part of a lawyer's job too, is to help the public get a perspective, right? But here's the Northport police. They're like, yeah, we did not do that. That would have been the FBI. So I don't know what the lawyer's telling you because we didn't do it. So now the lawyer's clearly either mixing up the police with the FBI, which I guess is a possibility, or he's caught there lying. Because the FBI is leading this and they wouldn't have made those decisions. The Northport is just basically now at this point following the FBI's lead, which we had the detective confirm to us yesterday. Where was it? Sorry. And then, sorry, and it's, hold on, Steph was, I can't. Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure if Steph was joining today. She's not sure if she will, but we're either way. Hey, Steph, hope you're having a great day. We'll have her back on when we can. She's also going on vacation next week, so we'll get her on when we can get her on. All right, but back to sort of where we're at. So putting all the pieces together, then Christopher Laundrie is at the reserve. So here's more footage of Brian's. The cell service is terrible in all these spots. Need to get a better hotspot. But now all the press is leaving the house, and they're going to the reserve today. So a good day to watch the house to make sure, Roberta Laundrie's not reaching into the garden and giving a bunch of items.
I'm going to stay close to our truck. I'm not going to walk around as much as normal just because I'm getting the Wi-Fi off of our news truck because the service is especially bad here. I'm actually shocked I can even get the live stream. Last week I wasn't able even to.
He couldn't even get the live stream. He's going to try and connect. So there, he's there. And did we get a latest comment from him? No. Okay, so that was it. Now, there was a second statement. Here it is. So here's the latest one. This is what I was trying to find you. So now, today's from the lawyer. Chris Laundrie is assisting law enforcement today in the search for Brian. Chris was asked to point out any favorite trails or spots that Brian may have used in the preserve. Although Chris and Roberta Laundrie provided this information verbally 3 weeks ago, it is now thought that on-site assistance may be better. The preserve has been closed to the public and the Laundries as well, but the parents have been cooperating since the search began. So again, I just don't buy this. Close the public. They could have called them in at any point to do this. This to me seems like I got to put my speculation warning. This to me seems like the parents trying to. Basically getting the feds to getting them to bring them on so then they could say a public statement to make it seem like they were asked to. And I don't believe the FBI is going to correct them because the FBI doesn't say anything. Now the Northport police has already confirmed and said we wouldn't have said that. The FBI would say that. And it's a very easy game to play because the lawyers and the Laundries, right? They can say we were asked to be here when the reality is they weren't. They're just doing it because and they're able to say that because they know the FBI isn't going to respond. Do you get what I'm saying? You guys following my take so far? So that's what's happening here. So I'm not buying it personally, and after talking to Detective, he also is not buying it. Where were you weeks ago? Why now? Because you're saving your ass now. And as John, Detective in PI now, retired Detective John Hubbard was telling me, he's like, it's of course you got to build your case. This is all about building a case because they know they're screwed. They know Brian's screwed. They know they're screwed. And at this point, the Laundries have done nothing to help find either Gabby or Brian. And so now they're out there trying to help find Brian. And to me, a little too late. I can see right through this. I smell BS. Do you guys smell BS? I'm not giving them a lick of respect on this or props. To me, now this comes the other. So let's go back to the footage and make sure we're not missing anything. We're piggybacking the news. This is their news. We're picking off their feed. So where was this earlier? I want to get some of their drone footage from earlier. Here we go. So there's some footage we can see of in there. And look, why would the feds bring in the Laundries to help now? Couple reasons. Theory one, again. Speculation warning. I'm going to put it on there because did I spell that wrong too? I did. Speculation. Anyway, I guess we won't use that as often. I did it quickly and I should have spell checked it. You guys know what it means. Why would they be doing this? Why would the feds be humoring the Laundries right now to help them and assist and give them this massive PR play? Why would they do that? Why do you think they would do that? I want you just noodle that for a second as I take a sip of water. Why would the feds give the Laundries this opportunity to seem helpful? Do they really need them to go show them the favorite hikes? Come on. You really think that? Well, my theory, they want to butter them up. They want the Laundries to feel like they aren't the suspects. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for helping here. Great. Oh yes, please, Mr. Laundrie, let's go look at the trails. So grateful you helped. Because if you get them over there and you butter them up, right? If you butter them up, they're going to be a little less evasive. They're going to seem like they're ahead of it. This is a total play, in my opinion, My opinion, this is a total trick to ease the Laundries into thinking they're not the suspect. They want to mess with them. And so it's kind of a brilliant move, if I'm correct, and I don't know if you guys agree. I think this is a brilliant move to, if you get them at ease, they're more likely to mess up and be less guarded. The more you open up, the more you get them to talk, the more you're out there on the trail with them, the more you're, oh yeah, thank you so much, right? You're getting intel. It's better than getting no intel. And so I think this, and he is there, guys, he is there. I think this is all a ploy to get the Laundries to open up and talk, and they should. Now, it's hard I shouldn't admit that shit, right? We shouldn't say that stuff out loud, because if they're watching, then they'll stop talking. But you got to think about it, right? They are getting the worst press in the world right now. They are sitting at home, they can't leave their house, and everyone thinks they have aided and abetted murder, and their son's a murderer. They're desperate. They are desperate. The feds know this. So to give them a lifeline right now is a wise move. I don't believe he's in this reserve. I don't buy it. It's so weird to me. I will eat my words. I will say I was wrong. Again, speculation, full speculation. I don't understand why he would have been there and still hiding there. The technology we seem to have, and again, it's above even John Hubbard's pay level, but because he's no longer there. Do you really believe they don't have the thermal technology in their drones now to fly over that site and see who's camping there? Do you believe that? In fact, let's make that today's first poll. I'm curious. They don't want to reveal too much about that technology, obviously. But do you think the FBI doesn't have the tech to fly over with thermal radar to see who's camping? All right, there we go. I'm curious what you guys think. I put that poll out there. We're going to do a few more polls today. I want to get your thoughts, but I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying this. And yeah, I don't know if all the reporters are telling you this too, but I'm going to tell it to you because this is my theories, and that's what we do here. But I'm sorry. I think they know. Now, why would they be in the reserve still, right? That's what's still confusing. Now, when we had John on yesterday, who's a detective 25 years in this area of Tampa Bay, we had him here. And what did he tell you guys, if you remember? He told you that is not enough cars if Brian's there. If Brian or a body, or they really suspect Brian's there, you would have way more units. And I believe him. I believe him. And, a lot of the media, no offense to JB and all the media, a lot of them are playing into the hands of the feds and the police because they have to, or they just don't know. But we're getting experts now, and we're probably revealing more than we should, but I don't know what to do. Am I supposed to just shut up and not share these theories to help not get them caught? I don't know. It's a tough catch-29. But for me, my theory, my speculation here, this is all a ruse to get them to open up and give more. So they're replaying a lot of the same footage. And let's see. I'm curious if they're talking about the drones. But anyway, looking through all this, the clip is today, so I want to keep playing this B-roll because I think the B-roll's important. We've been over this for so long. This area is huge, as you can see here. They've already scanned it, right? They've already scanned it. Now, if he was dead, that's a good question. If he was dead, could the body be there undetected? Would the thermal energy be gone if it's a dead body? Now, that's an interesting question. So that could be a case, right? That could be a case. But I just don't I don't believe that the parents are there out of their good graces trying to actually find Brian. I think this is all a distraction, and that's what John said. In fact, let me see if John, I'm going to read his, I was able to share. Now, this is from Detective Hubbard. Here, he sent this over. Now you know what they're doing in the preserve today. I said, you think he was there? John says, hell no. And I said, they're only trying to save face and keep themselves from being arrested later. I think the father knows what's up and took them on another expedition, knowing it was leading and going nowhere. This is from Detective Hubbard. If law enforcement thought for a second that Brian was in the preserve today, there would have been dogs, helicopters assisting in the search. They know he is full of BS. Yeah, so there you go. There was not a large law enforcement presence in the preserve today, in my opinion. You're not going to get this anywhere else, guys. So please, if you haven't already, thank you for the support. Hit the subscribe, because that's what we're doing here. We want to give you the real information. Hit the bell for all alerts, and thank you guys for supporting the channel and what we're doing here. Yeah, the longer he's at large, the more mileage you're going to get. The more mileage they're going to get of trying to get the Brian further, right? It's like they want to keep this going as long as possible so they can deflect and get Brian on this quest to get further and further away. He thought Bahamas. So it's like, yeah, the parents are all doing this as a distraction to get more mileage out of this preserve story because they've already told it. And so, yeah, it's wild to me. And then I was asking, because I was asking further, and thank you again for all this information. Where was it? Yeah, because I was like, could he have gotten out for the kayak on the DeSoto Park? He says undoubtedly a great place for him to escape. And don't tell me Cassie didn't know that. I mean, I love him dropping these facts. I'm just like, amen, amen, amen. So the other thing he said, you could totally just get a jet ski out of Fort DeSoto, and get the heck out of there. And he was like, I would stop in the Bahamas. So I want to. He's in a meeting. I'm not sure if we can get him on more because I want to get him more directly. But I was thinking all this, and he added it, and I feel like it's totally what's going on. And so we get this information because I want to be honest and tell you the real stuff. And yeah, no offense to JB, I like the coverage, but they don't know what they're talking about. They're doing great on YouTube, and I good on them. I appreciate their helicopter coverage. But a lot of the people who are doing this, no disrespect, I don't even know that much, but I'm learning it because we're getting those experts. And I don't want it to be me talking all the time. I'm trying to find more, and I'm so grateful for John because he's opened my eyes in some private conversations too about what's really going on here. And the truth is we're not supposed to know a lot of this information. That's why we don't know a lot of this information. And that's why we're speculating, and we have so many stupid idiots posting videos about bunkers and hands and gardens. Guys, please watch my video from earlier. I don't want to go on the rant again today, but we're losing our minds. And now this is the story. I've covered it. We've done it. In fact, I might just trim it right here. I want you guys to get that information clear and concisely, why he's lying, why I think they're lying. So I probably will just, in fact, because there's tons more we're going to go down to, but I want to really make sure I clip this portion here so you guys get that intel. Because, look, at the end of the day, why is Christopher showing up now? Think about it. And you guys agree, 91% on this poll. Of course the technology already exists to do this. Of course they know how to do this. They already know. 10% of you said no, they don't know. So, to me, I think a lot of us are on the same page. The FBI knows more. They're humoring the Laundries today. They're getting him on this quest, bringing items. Yeah, of course, Christopher, come out and tell us. Please take us on his favorite trails. Come on, what the hell? What favorite trails? They're easy to find trails. You already told him, and the lawyer's just trying to get an opportunity to butter him up. Yeah, and the lawyer's I think so stupid that the lawyer's like, yeah, this is great. This will be great PR play. Yeah, we're finally get some headlines. Laundrie stepping out to find Brian to help the case. Pfft. Nice try. Nice try. You guys suck. Little too late. Now, if they find him in the reserve, I will eat crow. That's really if he's there. But I don't know, man. All the experts I'm talking to, including Detective Hubbard, no way. He's long gone. He's long gone. And if we can't find a guy camping in that reserve with our thermal technology, then how do we find anybody? No way. There's no way that if he's in that one location, which we've been searching to death, that he's not there. To me, the search there with the limited stuff, as Hubbard said, is all distraction to make the Laundries feel more comfortable, like they're doing the job, when in reality they know he's further out and they're waiting for better leads, or they have them, etc. Or they're building a case. They're building a case against everybody, right, to properly do it. So, all right, there we go. That's the latest of what you know what's happening here. So when you see these statements and you see Chris coming out there trying to get some good press, Don't just buy it. We aren't done. I got lots more to go through. We're going to stay tuned in case any breaking news happens, but I want to snip this portion up because it's an important piece and I don't want to keep it too long. This is why I think the Laundries are full of crap and why this statement today, don't buy what the other channels and everybody are just trying to shovel you. This is PR. This is PR. Total PR play. Total nonsense by the lawyer. Why does the lawyer keep talking? I mean, I'm right. The lawyer is just out there any chance he can to save their asses because the case has already begun. And the Laundries deserve way more justice and accountability for quieting up when Gabby was missing. How dare they? That's my personal opinion. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell. And if you really want to help support this channel, hit join. In fact, if you hit join, you can always catch the replays of the show. More perks are coming. I'm working on that this week. It's just been so much content coming in. But stay tuned. A lot more members-only streams and some perks, special Telegram groups, and ways to reach out to me direct. Lots of opportunities for all your support to ensure we keep this channel going honest. So I appreciate you watching. If you're watching the live feed, we are not done. Don't go anywhere. Just clip in this portion for the replay so people can get it. If you want to watch the full multi-hour streams, become a member and you can catch the replays later in the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be right back.